Can you imagine that they can go through this small and disgusting sewer? It is too high and dangerous to get out of here. They must be so brave. Look at their body. They are so skinny, and I don't think that we can fit in that.
GIDT Travel.
This is Hoa Lo Prison, the worst POW camp in Hanoi. And today, we learn how to escape this panic prison. Go back to 1890s, thousands of people were imprisoned and brutally tortured here. They are Vietnamese soldiers who fought for their country, for other people. With bravery and patriotism, they were determined to escape from the dark prison, to reach for freedom, to succeed in revolution. So here is the wall of the Hoa Lo Prison, and you can see it is too high and dangerous to get out of here. It is impossible to escape by climbing the wall because of the wall around the prison is very tall and there are plenty of sharp pieces of glasses on the top of the wall, restraining people from escaping. So Vietnamese prisoners choose other ways to escape. Here is the area of cells for prisoners sentenced to death. They were all death penalty prisoners and had to stay separated from the others. As you can see here, they feed charcoal to heavy, sturdy metal charcoal and waited for the dead. But the prisoners started to use a rag soaked in lard to burn the wood of the charcoal to pull out their legs. To get out of the party cell, they arranged two comrades, Ky and Liên, to play ping pong with the wards. Then others stole and made the fake key to escape the cell. They were supported by the Hanoi Party Committee with the maps of the underground sewers, saw blades, and acid. So what the condition did the Vietnamese prisoner have to endure in Hoa Lo Prison? Many Vietnamese went through the harshest and darkest horror in this prison. Here is the French famous guillotine, was used to execute prisoners. The blade would cut down the man's head with a strength equal to 60 kilograms. The head of the death penalty prisoner went down to this container, then the bodies were moved to this basket. Sometimes the French brought prisoners' heads to public to scare revolutionaries. Can you imagine? You have to stay all day and night with your feet stuck on metal charcoal. You couldn't move and around you is overcrowded, with sometimes hundreds of people in this small room. So there are only 2 toilets for everyone in this room and they have to pee and poop all in front of everyone in the room. And the bucket of the toilets spread very terrible smell and also disease in the camp. But the Vietnamese prisoner was so brave and managed to use these dirty toilets as the hidden place for the document to participate secretly to the revolution. And here we are at the cell for women and also children. It is very small for a lot of people. Here we are at the cachot, which means dungeon, where the French used to detain people who are punished for breaking prison rules. It's very dark in here. You can barely see inside. Prisoners had to stay here for a very long time, and they just have only these 2 little windows. The floor is actually inclined to make the most uncomfortable situation for the prisoners. They had to hold the body with their arms when they were sitting, and when they lying down, the blood will go all up to the head. And they have to also pee and poop on the spot, and most of them were nearly blind, having skin disease after being in cachot. Cachot in Hoa Lo is hell of hell. There are many other types of torture that were given to the prisoner, such as electrical engine, boxing glove, barrel, fuel can, and so on. So this is a sentry box, where the walls were standing up to overlook all the prison. to keep an eye on the prisoners. It was occupied 24/7 to make sure no one to escape. In despite that, Vietnamese prisoners still managed to find ways to escape. Vietnamese prisoners secretly go into the underground sewer, cut iron bars, and prepare to escape. Can you imagine that they can go through this small and disgusting sewer? On Christmas night that year, 16 death row political prisoners started to escape. They crawled into the deep, narrow, dark, and dirty sewer. Look at the body. They are so skinny, and I don't think that we can fit in that. But then the police came. Only 5 people escaped. The prisoners fiercely fought back, but 11 people were arrested again. They must be so brave. I feel very emotional when the prisoner here used to consider the 𝐸𝐴𝐻 as a friend. When the prisoner was sick, they took advantage of young 𝐸𝐴𝐻 to treat diarrhea and help prisoners restore health. Stranger branches were used by the prisoner to make fans and pens. You know, Hoa Lo Prison was built to hold thousands of Vietnamese soldiers. Later, the prison was used to hold American pilots. The name Hanoi Hilton is the ironic name that the American pilot gave this prison. It can also tell the difference in life between Vietnamese and American POW while being held here. And do you know what? Why Vietnamese prisoners were brutally tortured? American prisoners are treated with a special regime. The American pilot, when they were held here, enjoy a better than normal diet with full dish and great food. Meanwhile, the diet of Vietnamese prisoners of war was extremely miserable. They had to eat tough or rotten food and rice with insects. Up to 40 people died in a month because of poor quality food or poor sanitary conditions. The Vietnamese prisoners only have these clothes to wear during all days of the year, with a small blanket for the winter. It must be very freezing then. In contrast, the American pilots were fully well prepared with nice clothes, warm places, lots of equipment, and even were given 3 expensive cigarettes a day. Another difference is the activities in prison of Vietnamese and American prisoners of the war. You can see the American prisoners were allowed to go out in the sun, play volleyball, basketball, play billiards, read books and newspapers. They even had a Christmas tree in their room and celebrated Christmas Day. While American prisoners were treated very well by the Vietnamese prisoners had to do hard labor every day at the request of the French. No entertainment. The rest of the time, they were in the prison and were shackled so as not to escape. So today's tour of Hoa Lo Prison is coming to the end. We have learned how to escape the prison from Vietnamese prisoners and observe the stark contrast in treatment between Vietnamese and American pilot POW, despite being in the same facility. While one group endured hellish conditions, the other enjoyed luxury accommodation akin to a 5-star hotel. Remember to subscribe 𝐺ADT Travel to know more interesting historical places in Vietnam.
𝐺ADT Travel. Your smile, our happiness.